just listening to you read Keke's bio. It's like, girl, I would think you were 70 years old with all you've done in your life.
Sometimes I do feel 70.
You know, I mean, how have you packed so much into such a young life? You're a baby yourself.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
And you have done so much in such a short period of time. Girl, I'm so proud of you. Just watching you just do your thing. How do you manage all of that?
I think it's so much of what, when you guys were talking about dreams, knowing your dream as a kid, and then how people can help kids nurture them, is that when I told my parents I wanted to entertain, we started going on auditions and stuff, there was never a ceiling. They always encouraged and said there was more that I could do. Yeah. There was never a feeling that I had, well, because I started with acting, that's all I had to stick with. If I wanted to try singing and focus on that, I could. If I wanted to try hosting, if I wanted to do less film and TV and maybe do more theater, it was always, or even community stuff.
Yeah.
I never felt like I had to just abandon any one thing to follow my dreams. It all was rooted in being of service to my community in the ways that felt most natural to me. And so I really loved hearing you guys talk about that, because I think that is why I'm able to do all the things that I do. I think a lot of people have everybody has multiple gifts and things they want to offer. But like y'all was saying, sometimes people make them believe that it's that whole jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
But really it's jack of all trades, master of none is often better than a master of one.
Yeah.
And so I think my mom, my dad, my family saying, okay, we with you. Let's do it.
Let's give this a shot.
It's what made me be able to do it.
Do you think about the wisdom of their parenting? What do you think now about the way your parents sort of guided you?
I think in the beginning, I was kind of like, as a teenager in my early 20s, it was kind of like, did I like my parents?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
And then I was like, girl, everybody go. I remember my dad had this talk with me where he was like, okay, so I didn't do a lot of things right. I'm sorry that you didn't like this. I'm sorry that you didn't like that. But now you're a grown woman. So now what are you going to do with that? Are you going to be mad at me forever?
Yeah.
Or are you going to move forward and take matters into your own hands?
See, now that's Chicago, right?
That is Chicago to the man. He was like, everybody's parents did something. He was kind of like, okay, girl.
That sounds just like our mom, who's like, I don't understand these kids blaming their parents. It's like, well, you think their parents didn't go through something? I mean, there's just and we talked about, because we from Illinois.
Okay.
And Keke, she's sort of almost from Chicago.
Anytime I say Robbins, people are like.
But if you know Chicago, you know Robbins is like, it's the hood suburb.
And if Keke's from Robbins, she can handle herself.
It's like, right,
you can handle yourself. We know that. We know that.
It's not, Robbins is not Highland Park.
No.
It is not, it's not Barrington, know. But your parents sound like there's a sort of common sense groundedness to the way they think. There's just kind of a Midwestern kind of simplicity and kind of, no nonsense.
And I just always wonder how it's like that. Obviously you don't want to be biased because we're all from the Midwest, but I do think there's something that's so like, look, hardworking, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, hug on your family, be good to yourself and keep moving forward, because life isn't going to stop. So what are you going to do with that? And I think that's what I learned the most from my parents. After I got out of my, I was kind of like, it all slowly started to come to me, all the sacrifices they made on all accounts, not just sacrifices that we think about that we like. Like, I can't go out tonight. I can't go. No, sacrifices like I have to abandon my comfortability with anxiety. I have to abandon my comfortability with not chasing my dreams and stepping out into the unknown. My parents abandoned those things. They became heroes. They became courageous and brave in ways that I don't even think they knew that they could be, just so their children could see that they had options and that their dreams were worth believing in. And I think that is like what I want to be able to do the most with my son, is teach him how to be an authoritative figure, but also help to nurture his sense of leadership without, tampering him down. Be a leader, but be the right kind of leader.